coach at Icon Life Coaching. How are you? Let me see if I can get this camera. My, let me see if I can get this camera out of the way. This light here. Um, so happy to be with you today. Today we are talking about, so my channel is for mompreneurs. My channel, I help mompreneurs quadruple their revenue in 90 days. Yes, you heard that right. I help them quadruple their revenue in 90 days. As you can tell, I'm a mompreneur because you can hear the little ones in the back. Girls, shh, be quiet. Shh, go to the room and be quiet. You can hear them in the back. But that's the thing about the life of a mompreneur. You can't stop your business. You can't stop what you're trying to do because of your children. You cannot use them as an excuse to stop what you're trying to do. You cannot say, oh, they're loud, they're this. You got to keep it moving. We need to normalize in society that women have children, men have children, children are a part of life. They're the reason the species continues. And, when you're in that situation, things are a little bit different. So I want to normalize that. Everything's not perfect. It's not an Instagram channel. But so what are we talking about today? So I talk about topics that are relevant to moms, women, really women in general. I'm a woman. I see the world through a feminine perspective. Moms, I love being a mom, so I definitely see the world through a mom's perspective. And then I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm into solving problems for the marketplace and making a lot of money. So there, boom. So I talk about issues that intersect with that. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about today. So we know in the United States, there is a Supreme Court ruling, the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS, overturned Roe versus Wade. And Roe versus Wade is a case back in like the 60s around the legalization of abortion, and if states have the right to not have abortion. So when Roe versus Wade was decided, it was federally protected. So every state, like a state could not off like outlaw abortion. So now that Roe versus Wade is overturned, that is not the case. So it's not federally protected. So each individual state can handle it the way that they see fit. So that's actually what's going on. So now on my timeline, there is a lot of emotion. There is a lot of conversation around Roe versus Wade. Now, I'm not going to talk about that part, but what I am going to talk about is this mindset that I see on my timeline when I'm scrolling through the internet, that I hear on conversations. And I wonder if it's really because women are getting kind of emotional. There's this conversation like, oh, we're going back to the 60s. Oh, this and that. Remember when women were this? Oh, X, Y, and Z. And I thought to myself, I'm a critical thinker, and I abhor the victim mindset, period. So I'm not a victim, whether it's because of my gender, my skin complexion, where I grew up, my nationality, my heritage. I just choose to take responsibility for my life, period, full stop, and let's make it work. So I think I see things differently because of that. Like, you're not ever going to hear me say, oh, we're going back to the 60s where women didn't. You're not going to hear me say that over a SCOTUS ruling around whether states legalize, like how states handle abortion. What I am going to focus on is the ability for us to even overturn that. It's not over. The conversation isn't over if the women in the United States want to do. We have power. We have political power. We have a voice. We have financial power. Like, I like to focus on the power that we actually have. You have power on the inside. So don't let anything or anyone make you feel like you have to get transported back. And here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that that's not an emotional situation for a lot of people, or there are not people suffering from that decision right now. So that's not what I'm saying, either on whichever side that you're on. But what I will say is this: it is never beneficial to an individual person, whoever you are, man or woman, and it's never beneficial, specifically for moms and mompreneurs, to feel like somebody else is in control of your life. What is beneficial is for you to focus on what you can control in your life and to get yourself in a situation where you have choices and you can practice freedom in your life. And get on board with whatever organizations, whatever needs to happen where you feel like you can change the narrative. And that's the thing that I have noticed that I don't like. This narrative of like, what are we gonna do? Like, oh my gosh, no, like, man, what are we gonna do? What have people been doing politically all over the world for the beginning of time? What have African American people been doing? Like, we come together. We are not living in communist China. We're not living in a dictatorship or a monarchy. Like, we live in a democracy. Let's go. Well, some people say it's a republic, right? Let's go. Like, let's focus on what we can do and let's get it done instead of focusing on this idea that women are victims and what are we going to do? Like, we are not victims. I'm so done with that. I don't want to hear that. I am not a victim to any man. I'm not a victim to male patriarchy. Like, I am not. That is not how I see the world. Um, and I understand why people see the world like that. But that's not how I see the world. But I do understand because I used to see the world like that until I kind of just had a whole change about how I see the world. And that's the direction that I want to go. How I see the world, where I am not a victim. I'm victorious. I'm powerful. And I need to do what I need to do to make my life work the way it needs to work. And when things are not the way I want them to be, I have a change agent mindset where I can work and collaborate in a community to make it right. To make it right? So that's so important. So that's what I wanted to say today on our way to the beach this today. But that's what I wanted to say. That's so important. Do not allow the wave to determine, your individual power. We're still powerful as a nation. This still is a democracy. There's so like sometimes I hear these conversations and the things that we're focused on in these conversations is not helpful. Is not helpful for change. It's not helpful. It's not informative. It's not helpful. It's not edifying. It's not like, okay, what are we going to do about it? When you condemn a group of people and you're like, oh, well, this is what it is. Like, it's like, wait, what? That is not helpful. And I think we need to learn, we need to stop allowing media outlets and certain narratives tell us how to think and feel and tell us what it is versus what we want it to be. So that's what I wanted to share with mompreneurs today. Listen, because this is how it is in your business. Someone's going to tell you something in your business that you don't like. So some situation, some what is it called, like law or policy or something. You're going to have to put on your thinking hat, your problem solving hat, your change agent hat to make it work, to overcome it. You can't just shut down and what are you going to do? No, you can't just shut down. You got to keep it moving. That's so important. You have to keep it moving. So that's something I wanted to share with you today. I wrote a book about femininity, actually, Affirm Yourself and Femininity. And you can check it out on Amazon and all retailers. You can also check it out on my website, www.affirmyourselfbooks.com. And you can get a little insight on how I feel about femininity, women issues, stuff like that. I was a fun book that I wrote that I kind of poured my heart onto. So check it out, www.affirmyourselfbooks.com. All of my books are there, so you can have a field day with them. So anyway, thank you so much. Happy Sunday. Soon, tomorrow, by God's grace. Bye.